Hello? Let's be frank for a minute. You know that dialogue that always appears on the weekend, when the conscience gets heavy and the desire for change speaks louder. On Monday I will start. On Monday I will change. But then the week begins. Routine arrives and the excuses come in full force. I hate the gym. I do not have money. If I do anything, I will get hurt. Walking does not solve anything. And the result is always the same, nothing changes. The body gets heavier, the energy goes away, and the feeling is of being stuck in the same place, watching health slowly slip through your fingers. And what if I told you that the solution to this impasse is literally beneath your feet, costs absolutely nothing, and destroys all these excuses at once? The habit I am going to show you is simple, quick, and free. And that is exactly why medicine is calling it a secret weapon against sedentarism. But curiously, almost no one uses it. There are people spending money on gyms, supplements, and extravagant devices, while ignoring something extremely obvious that anyone can do at home, in their own building or on the street. And I will go further. What I am going to show you in benefit number 1 has the potential to completely change the way you see your health for the next years. If that promise already interested you, I ask that you now make a pact with me. Like this video so that this message reaches more people, subscribe and activate the notifications, because this is just the first of a series of guides to shield your health. And think of someone who needs to hear this. Share it. Now answer me in the comments with sincerity. Which of these excuses is the one that holds you back the most? And before we continue, I want you to write just one sentence. I am going to take care of myself. Those who write, commit. Those who commit, act. Ready. With the pact made, it is time to go to the point that really matters, the proof that silences all excuses. Now that the pact is made, let me show you a truth that most people ignore, but that science has been shouting for years. Several population surveys carried out with hundreds of thousands of people around the world reach the same conclusion. Regularly climbing stairs is among the most powerful habits to prolong life. We are not talking about small statistical differences. We are talking about something so impactful that it should be on the front page of newspapers. People who adopt the habit of climbing stairs instead of using the elevator live longer, have fewer heart attacks, fewer strokes, and keep their minds sharper over the years. And this is not opinion. It is mathematics. Researchers observed that those who incorporate this short and intense effort into their daily lives significantly reduce the risk of dying from any cause, especially heart problems. For you to understand the magnitude of this, it is a protection greater than many expensive treatments that people undergo for years without obtaining half the result. Think with me. A decision of a few seconds, choosing the step instead of the elevator button, can represent years more of lucidity, independence, and vitality. And all without spending a cent. Now that science has spoken, let us put the excuses on the table, one by one, and destroy them all. Excuse number 1. I hate the gym. I do not have money. Maybe you are thinking, but I do not have time to work out. I do not have money to pay for a gym, and honestly, that environment is not for me. And I understand you. The gym can be uncomfortable. It is noise, waiting in line to use machines, people showing off in the mirror, that feeling of being watched, not to mention the cost, monthly plan, proper clothes, transportation. In the end, it becomes more of an obligation in the schedule than a health habit. But here is the turning point. The step does not charge a monthly fee. It does not require special clothing. It does not depend on weather. It does not need anyone's approval. It is there, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, waiting for you. And more, it costs $0 now and saves a fortune later. Because while many claim that they do not have money to take care of their health, they end up spending 3, 10, 20 times more when the bill comes in the form of medicine, exams, appointments, and procedures. Climbing stairs is not just exercise. It is the cheapest and most effective health plan that exists. You can keep paying a high price to fix the problem later. Or you can start today building the protection that no medicine delivers. Excuse number 2. I am afraid of hurting my knee. This is one of the most common fears. I would even try, but my knee cannot handle it. But this thought comes from inverted logic. The problem is not in the effort, the real danger is in the lack of it. Staying still for too long weakens exactly the muscles that should protect your joints. When the legs lose strength, any everyday movement becomes a risk. Getting up from a chair, tripping on a rug, or stepping down a stair distracted.
In other words, it is not the step that hurts, it is inactivity. Climbing stairs, when done with awareness and progression, is a natural, controlled movement that can be fully adjusted to your pace. You choose the speed, the height of the step, the support on the handrail. You do not need to climb fast, nor become an athlete overnight. The rule is simple. Start with a few steps. Keep your torso upright. Place your whole foot firmly on the ground. Hold the handrail if you want extra safety. By doing this, you are not overloading the knee. You are teaching the body to stabilize again. You are activating the muscles that shield the joint. You are building support, not destruction. Think this way. The body you fear hurting is the body you need to strengthen, and there is no strengthening while sitting. Excuse number 3, climbing stairs is too weak, I will lose muscle. Many people still believe that climbing stairs is light stuff, a weak exercise, almost useless. Others say that this kind of movement only serves to tire you out and ruin muscle mass. Nothing could be further from the truth. Climbing stairs is not just walking, it is lifting your own weight against gravity. Each step is equivalent to a mini squat session. The body needs to push the entire torso upward with force, mobilizing glutes, thighs, and calves at the same time. In other words, it is not loss, it is construction. You are not wasting muscle. You are forcing the body to activate deep fibers that remain dormant in sedentarism. You are fighting against sarcopenia, that silent loss of muscle mass that begins early and, without combat, steals strength, balance, and autonomy. Do you know who really loses muscle? Those who spend the day sitting? Those who stop using their legs? Those who believe that moderate effort is dangerous and, out of fear, become fragile? Climbing stairs the right way is not the end of strength. It is the beginning of it. Ready. The excuses are behind us. Now that you have understood that neither lack of money, nor fear of pain, nor doubt about effectiveness are real reasons to stay still, it is time to look at the other side of the story, the side of rewards. Because climbing stairs is not just a momentary effort, it is a biological trigger that activates a cascade of positive effects inside your body. And this does not happen in weeks or months. It happens immediately. The first step already turns on the protection mechanisms. That is why, from now on, I want you to see each climb not as exercise, but as internal investment. With each step, you send an order to your body. Strengthen. Regenerate what is weak. Activate what is dormant. And that is exactly what happens. Next, I am going to show you, in descending order, the 5 most powerful benefits of this habit. And I promise you one thing. Benefit number 1 will completely change the way you see aging and memory. Let us start in descending order. Benefit number 5, stronger bones and protection against frailty. When you think about the future, what is the fear that haunts the most? For many people, it is not death itself, it is the loss of autonomy. It is tripping on a rug, falling and not being able to get up. It is depending on someone to carry a bag or to leave the house. This is the silent portrait of bone fragility, caused by the loss of density that happens little by little with sedentarism. But here is the point that almost no one understands. Bones do not get stronger with medicine. Bones get stronger with impact. And climbing stairs is exactly that. Controlled impact. Each step upward applies slight pressure on the skeleton, and that pressure activates a natural mechanism called mechanical stimulus. Simply put, the bone feels the force and responds by saying, "I need to become denser." It is as if each step sent a direct command to the bone-building cells. Rebuild the structure. Reinforce the base. While many believe that protecting the joints is avoiding effort, the truth is the opposite. The correct effort is what preserves. The more you use your legs consciously, the more they learn to support you. And this does not bring only health, it brings freedom. Being able to climb stairs with firmness means having legs that do not shake, a spine that does not collapse, and balance that does not betray. This is called living with safety, without fear of your own body. Benefit number 4, metabolic cleanup and fight against internal fat. Have you noticed how, over the years, the belly seems to take on a life of its own? Even eating little, the abdomen becomes harder, more swollen, as if it were inflamed inside. And that feeling of heaviness after meals starts to become routine. This is not just aesthetics. It is a sign of insulin resistance, one of the most dangerous triggers for diabetes and heart disease. The good news is that the body has a very intelligent way of reversing this situation, and it does not depend on long workouts nor on becoming an athlete. It only takes small bursts of effort throughout the day. When you climb stairs at moderate intensity, even for a few seconds, the muscle opens the doors for glucose to enter without needing insulin. It is as if you were lubricating the system that was rusty. Science calls this microdoses of exercise. I prefer to call it a metabolic reset dose. Think with me. 3 quick stair climbs at different times of the day have more effect on metabolism than 30 minutes of slow walking. Your body stops storing energy as fat and starts using it as fuel. The belly that previously seemed inflamed begins to deflate. The mind becomes lighter, because the brain also feels when the blood stops being viscous and begins to flow more easily. This type of short and repeated effort is like pressing the clean button of the body. And all of this with something you can do in less than 1 minute, without equipment, without witnesses, and without depending on motivation. Benefit number 3, mental clarity, focus, and stress relief. Have you ever felt that fog in your head? It is not exactly sadness, nor physical fatigue. It is as if the mind were slow, scattered, struggling to concentrate even on the simplest tasks. This happens because constant stress releases excessive doses of cortisol, a hormone that, in excess, acts like rust on the brain's connections. And here comes the important part. Climbing stairs for a few seconds generates an immediate release of substances that have the opposite effect. The effort speeds up the heart, the body understands that it needs to react, and releases a powerful combination of neurotransmitters like endorphin and dopamine, which clear the mind and bring focus. At the same time, it increases the production of a protein called BDNF, known as fertilizer for neurons, because it helps the brain create new connections and preserve existing ones. In other words, you are not just burning energy. You are producing natural medicine inside yourself. And there is more. When you finish the climb and catch your breath, the body enters a state of deep calm, a kind of post-effort relaxation that stabilizes mood and reduces anxiety. It is like pressing 2 buttons at the same time: exit stress and enter clarity. And all that without needing meditation, motivational speeches, or miracle pills, just a few steps. Benefit number 2, stronger heart and rejuvenated arteries. Maybe you carry that silent fear of a sudden heart attack, or that constant worry about high blood pressure, cholesterol, murmur, arrhythmia. The truth is that when the heart starts showing signs, fear stops being theoretical and becomes a daily presence. But there is a type of stimulus that the heart loves, and that strengthens it naturally and progressively. Short efforts that raise heart rate and soon after allow recovery. And what do you think happens every time you climb a staircase? The heart speeds up, the arteries dilate, the blood is pumped more forcefully. Soon after, on the way down or at rest, it returns to rhythm. This rise and fall creates a perfect training for the cardiovascular system, much more efficient than long and slow walks. This type of stimulus improves the heart's contraction capacity and increases the production of nitric oxide, a substance that relaxes the walls of blood vessels making the arteries more elastic and less susceptible to blockage. Translating. Blood pressure tends to drop more easily. The veins stop being rusty pipes and go back to being flexible. The heart stops being a tired motor and responds with vigor again. You are not just preventing disease, you are rejuvenating the system that keeps you alive. Benefit number 1, brain protection and preserved memory. The greatest fear is not death. It is losing who you are. It is looking at someone you love and not remembering their name. It is walking into the kitchen and forgetting what you were going to do. The good news is that protection does not begin at 70. It begins now. Climbing stairs creates a combo of stimuli that the brain loves. First, it increases cerebral perfusion. More oxygen-rich blood reaches the neurons, which then work more efficiently. Second, the physical effort releases messengers that favor neural plasticity, among them the famous fertilizer of the connections, which helps the brain form and strengthen synapses. Third, by improving insulin sensitivity and reducing systemic inflammation, you protect the very thin vessels that nourish the areas of memory and attention, translating into real life, more clarity to make decisions, more speed to organize ideas, fewer irritating lapses in daily life. Each climb is a direct message to the nervous system. Stay alive, connect, repair. And this does not depend on a gym, nor on equipment. It depends only on you saying yes to a few steps. This is the point. You are not just doing cardio. You are building a shield against forgetfulness, reducing risks that silently erode autonomy. Today, 1 flight. Tomorrow, 2. In a few weeks, the brain begins to respond like a well-trained muscle. Stronger, more resilient, more yours. The final connection. How everything comes together to protect your mind. Did you notice what just happened? You did not gain 5 isolated benefits. You just built a complete armor, and the brain is the one that benefits the most from it. Think like this. When the heart becomes more efficient, more oxygen reaches the brain with ease. When the metabolism is recalibrated and insulin resistance drops, the blood stops being toxic and starts to nourish. When anxiety decreases and the feel-good hormones come into play, thinking becomes clearer and emotions stabilize. When bones and muscles become stronger, you keep moving with autonomy. And an active brain is a protected brain. In other words, every step you climb does not work alone. It triggers a chain reaction that reaches the entire body. But the final destination is always the same. Preserve who you are. You are not just gaining time in life, you are gaining life within time. And all this without expensive medicine, without invasive interventions, without depending on superstition, luck, or genetics. The decision is literally in front of you, sometimes just a few meters from where you are sitting right now. If this content awakened something inside you, even if it was small, then make it awaken in someone else. Send it to a friend, a relative, someone you want to see well in the coming years. Sometimes, a video like this arrives at the right moment and changes the course of an entire life. Be the person who pushes another upward. Climb, and take someone with you. A big hug.